Good afternoon and welcome to Spotlight in Business. I'm Tammy Defoe, President and Business Coach at GTApreneurs, and I have the pleasure of introducing to you today Allan Pollett. He's an SEO guru and he's the SEO specialist that provides GTApreneurs SEO services. So I'm so happy that he'll be the guest speaker at our April 14th virtual networking event at 12 o'clock. He's going to give us some free tips about how to get your website ranked in Google. Our website already ranks high on Google, but he's going to give you some free tips about that. And just as an extra note, when you get SEO services from GTApreneurs, you are getting Allan Pollett, who's one of the best in the field. So you're in good hands. So thanks so much for coming out today, Allan. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, and tell us more about you.
I've been an SEO specialist for a really long time. It's actually, it always amazes me when I think, oh, I was doing this for since 1998. So that's like 25 years. It's crazy. At the time, when you first started it, like when I first started this, it didn't even exist as a term. Like SEO was not even a thing. We were just like, how do we get to the top of the search engines? And so I actually read the papers that Google wrote in order to for their they did it as a PhD program, right? So
wow.
I read that, so I actually understood it from that algorithmic thing, and I was like, this will last a few years. It won't. It's not going to go anywhere. I didn't realize that even at the time that this would be a career that would last me so long. And the funny thing is, the same stuff that I learned back then, and a lot of the there's been nuances that have changed. But the fundamentals have really remained true for all these years. And whenever I teach SEO, that's what I always try to teach, that fundamental, this is the stuff you do. And if you do this stuff, you will rank well, you will get the best love from Google and all the search engines. So generally that's been my approach. And it's a long-term approach rather than what a lot of SEOs will do is like this, this is the latest hack, this is the latest trick. I do stuff that's more like, as I said, last 25 years. So, if you do that kind of thing, you're in business for a long time. And that's been my approach.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really developed as a whole specialty, right? Like there's a lot of website developers out there. And, we see them if you look at the, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and however many pages of Google. The people think just because they have a website, well, I'm all set. Mm-hmm. But if your website developer is not an SEO specialist, then your website's not that valuable unless you have to keep telling people to go to your website. But if it's ranking organically, when people are just searching for what they want, let's say dentist in Toronto or whatever, then your website's automatically going to come up. It's actually less work for you when you just have the search engine doing it for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's one element that has changed over the years. Is what it used to be was if you just optimized your site, just the basics, do the right thing, you could rank in the top 10. That was pretty much certain back then. Even like I had stuff ranking number 1, just doing those basic stuff. But nowadays, that basic stuff is basic stuff. Pretty much, you'll have like almost any industry, you'll have at least 20 to 30 businesses that will be doing the basic stuff.
Right.
And that level of competition, like that's like very bare minimum level of competition. Some fields it's like 1,000 companies that are doing the basic stuff. So what I found is the game has become a much harder game. That's really the challenge. And what you have to do is work with kind of the best people in order to be above all the other guys that are doing the basic stuff. Yes, a lot of people know the basics of SEO. Good for them. but you have to know a little bit more, and you have to do a lot more to be or to rise above the competition. And that's really what's changed over the years. And it is very competitive. That's one of the fun things about my business. Always staying above the others.
Yeah, exactly. So people can't just use a set it and forget it model anymore, right? It's the ongoing, because you're constantly competing with every other website that wants to be on the top spot, right? It's just like how if you go to the mall, right, it's the stores that are in the certain strategic locations that get most of the business, most of the traffic, compared
Yep.
to, okay, yeah, you have a store, but it's way in the back corner that nobody goes to, right?
Yeah.
Or same idea, you have a, you know, a store just on the street, and the ones that have like a lot of parking, they get a lot of traffic by, they're going to do better than some that's on some little back street that nobody goes to, right? It's the same thing with your website. Is your website like on, you know, page 10 or even 5 or 4, when 73% of people don't even go past page 1, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
guarantee,
it's like 90
yeah,
some odd percent don't go past page 1.
yeah. So I guarantee everyone out there too that you guys have found something that you don't go past page 1. Okay. You know,
Yeah.
like it's very, very occasional, right? That it's just easier. It's fast. You don't have time. We figure who's ever at the top must be the best. Right.
Yep.
And I mean, there could be someone out there who is even better, but that's on page 10. But you know what? That person doesn't have an SEO specialist. And so then people aren't finding them. It's the same idea. You can have, you know, like a restaurant or whatever store, and it can be super amazing. But if people can't find it, well, then you're not going to get very much business, right? So
Yeah.
that's the thing about having it. So you do have to keep putting that work into it. And I mean, for someone to learn, like, I mean, last time I heard there was over 200 factors that Google considers when ranking.
Way more than that.
There's way more now. Yeah, 300, 400, whatever it is now, because they keep wanting to, they get smart, Google. They want to keep making it more challenging, right? And so you do have to invest in it, right? As a long-term strategy to again, keep that prime real estate. It's like prime real estate on that first page, right? And so a lot of people just don't know what's involved. So I'm glad you're going to be coming out to give us some free tips, right?
Yep.
About and yeah, so then, you know, just another little piece of a tip I want people to know that, you know, I partnered up with Allan because he's just got this unique gift. Okay. Right. It's not just about these years he's been working on it, like years of experience, but he actually has some extra intelligence there that most of us don't have, which gives him, why he's one of the best. So tell us about that. The story,
I'm
Allan.
always embarrassed to tell this story because people think I'm a little bit crazy, but the story is this, that all through my life, and I don't know why I have this talent, but it is a talent, maybe, and I never thought this would be a talent that I would make my career on, but it is the talent that kind of made my career. Is I like literally when I go out for a walk, you know, there'll be like a little patch of clover or something like that. Well, I'll see that patch of clover, and the 4-leaf clovers in that patch just sort of pop out to me. And I'll notice them. I'm like, oh, there's a 4-leaf clover. And I'll just bend down and pick up the 4-leaf clover and pop it into my pocket. And I actually have an album of all these 4-leaf clovers that I've collected. And there's hundreds, you know, in this book. So literally every time I pick up these 4-leaf clovers, and it's what it is I recognize patterns. So that same skill of, or talent, or whatever you want to call it, of noticing something that stands out, like something that's a little bit different, is the thing that allows me to look at the search engine rankings and say, okay, this is why this site ranks, this is why this site ranks, or this is why it's not ranking. And I can go through their websites and see, oh, okay, this is wrong, this is right, this is, you know, and I can really, it just comes to me like, you know, like as 4-leaf clovers. And it's a skill that I try to teach people how to do it, how to like recognize these same patterns. But it's a weird skill. It's always embarrassing because people are like, oh yeah, good, yeah, you never find me. I do it all the time, and like people like doubt me, and then I pick up a 4-leaf clover and show it to them, and then they're like, okay, maybe he's telling something that's true.
Yeah. Well, and I believe you, right? But I mean, I always thought that the 4-leaf clover was a myth, just like a unicorn, right? It's just something they use for, because I've looked, I could never find a 4-leaf clover, you know? So I think it's one of these things where, you know, there's a lot of other SEO people, right? And they do know how to do the basics, but they don't all have this special gift where you can notice these things. So you can tweak a person's website just a certain way to give them that edge.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like simple things. I mean, we've worked on projects together where, you know, it's been optimized, it's been actually pretty solid, but then I say, hey, look, there's these little things that we can do that will take it to that next level. And we saw, like with those clients, where almost like a light switch is turned on, where all of a sudden they start ranking for it, for whatever we're targeting. So it does make a big difference, even the smallest of tweaks. If you notice like this kind of flaw that could be kind of utilized in a way to make it stronger. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right. And the thing is that, Google's always changing their algorithms, right? The competitors are always changing things too. So it's about keeping on top of that. Like you're paying attention to, what's going on out there in the search
Yeah,
engine world. What are
yeah,
the trends? Like people also search for different things. Like for example, for networking events during COVID, nobody was
mhm,
searching for business networking events near me. Right?
yeah,
Because
yeah, because it
everybody's
didn't make
online,
any
but now
sense.
people search for that, right? So people do change the way they search. And that's the thing. It's not just about, let's get all the words like this, but people in general, trends change, people's behavior changes. And so then you're having to adapt your website to that. So what's something that's optimized today? It could be different, you know?
Well, yeah, so one of the things that I came up with way back when was the concept of evergreen. We use it with content, what's called evergreen content, where it's called evergreen content because it's content that will be good today, good
Right.
tomorrow, good the
Yeah.
next day.
Mhm.
But there's also content which is kind of like timely,
Mhm.
where it will get a certain number of searches. Well, within that trends that we talk about, there are keywords that you can find that are evergreen and trendy keywords,
Mhm.
and you can make money on both. Okay, so if you can kind of pick up those trendy keywords, well, you can target them and rank very quickly for them because they're a new keyword. Nobody's ever really targeted it before. But if
Yeah.
you're kind of early to adopt,
Mhm.
and you can hit the trend and really come to the top on it. If you target evergreen, well, you know that you're going to get that residual
Yeah.
traffic. You're going to
Yeah.
constantly. So there's ways of like using those changes of trends to really benefit your business, and that's one of the things that I recommend to clients is, hey, let's do the keyword research now, and then let's do it again. Let's kind of repeat the process and see if there's opportunities that we might be missing. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So
Fun
how
stuff.
many websites do you think you've optimized it over the years?
Too many, but probably in about, I always guess around 3,000 is probably around the right number. You lose sort of track of it after a while. I just have optimized that many businesses. Just to give you a sense, there was a time where I was basically a SEO slave, where I was just like grinding out SEO projects for about a year. And just during that 1 year, I optimized about 1,000 sites. And then over the years, just my own personal stuff was 500. So 1,500 is just that. And then there's another 20 some odd years. So I just estimate, a few, it kind of, that's how I ballpark it. I have no idea. I don't
Yeah.
count. I can't think of every single URL that I've
Yeah.
optimized.
Yeah.
But I ballpark it around 3,000.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's great. So you guys know you're in great hands, when you hire GTApreneurs for your SEO work. And we have one client that we started with just January, and she's ranking on the first page of Google for at least one major keyword after only 4 months. So I know some other specialists out there, it can take much longer than that. So because of Allan's special talent, that we can get people ranked relatively quickly. Of course, it does, depend on the keyword as well. There's some keywords that are super, super competitive that, can take longer than that to rank. But, there's many that we can get ranked really quickly. And again, it's keeping track of what people search for, not and making sure we're kind of first at the game.
Yeah, actually, that client is a client which she shouldn't be ranking at all. And I don't say that because we did a bad job or anything. It's that competitive. It's
Right.
just a
Super
really
competitive.
competitive
Yeah.
field. And yeah, so
Yeah.
the fact that she's ranking at all,
Mhm.
that's actually quite huge.
Yeah.
I can say certain fields are almost like, oh man, I need a much bigger budget to do this. But the fact that we worked with the client's budget and we got them ranked, it's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you know what, no matter what your industry is, like, real estate, financial advisor, well, financial advisor is a little tricky because of the regulations, but accountants is super competitive, right, in that. But you know what, to us, it doesn't matter. Like it's the business is the business. It's all about SEO, right? And if you can do it right, then we can help you get results. And I think it was one time you were telling me about someone from your past. It was a dental office. I think
Yes.
maybe in the US where they
Yep.
started with one office and now they've got 3 offices or 5 offices or something like
I
that.
think it's 6 now, 6
6
offices.
now. Wow. Yeah. So
And they're
that's
not small offices. They're like 20,000 square foot offices.
wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
massive. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know what? It's the only way people could scale that much is if they are in that prime location where
Mhm.
people keep going there and they keep saying the same thing over. And of course they tell all their friends and they tell all their friends. So it's just a huge spin-off. And I know you know how the math because you got a physics degree or whatever, certain
Mhm.
number to the so many exponent or whatever. I'm not going to even try to calculate that, but you know, it's how much it can do, you know. So and I love that. I'm so happy when I go and I give our reports to this client we're talking about right now, like every month. I'm so excited. Look at how many words you're ranking for. And I do like top 10, top 20, whatever. And when we
Mhm.
first started, she was ranking for 0,
Oh yeah.
like other
It's,
than her
it was a
name and her
really
company,
competitive field. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Okay. So now she's like ranking on the first page of Google, like in the top 20. She's got, I forgot how many words, and she's just, but overall, like 170 something keywords she's ranking for, and she had
Mhm.
0 before. And we've only been doing this now for 5 months. So again, I'm always excited to do this, but you know what? It's only going to keep getting better for her. And I'm like, you know what? You're going to have to hire an assistant because we're bringing
Mhm.
people to you, right? And that's the
Mhm.
goal. You know, so if someone just wants to stay really small time and you don't really want that many clients, then yeah, SEO is not good for you. But if you actually want to really grow and build a team, right, have that career for yourself, then you need to invest. And then it comes back though, like, you know, 10, 20, 40, 100-fold.
Well, what I've always told clients, and this is the truth, is that it used to be that if you didn't have a website, you know, you're out of business kind of thing, right? That was
Yeah.
kind of the slogan that
Yeah.
Bill Gates actually came up with. Well, now it's become that 60% of people's businesses comes from Google. 60%.
Wow.
So basically, if you're not doing SEO, you basically shouldn't be doing business. You just, it is that level. It's kind of sad that it's become that level, but it's just, that's the way business is. Everyone's going online. Everybody, that's the
Right.
way we find people.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Anything, exactly. You need somebody, right? You could ask someone, hey, do you know somebody, right? And sometimes they do, which is great. And then other times, but even before you even ask somebody why, because we all have a smartphone and it's just so easy. We just type in what we want.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. And so you mentioned, and I mean, we say Google a lot, you know, but really what we do applies to all the search engines, but just because Google is the biggest, the most popular search engine out there, that, you know, it's kind of why we just kind of short form it to say Google, you know, but that's the thing, right? Having a website is great, but you got to keep telling people to go there yourself, right? But if you have the, you know, with the SEO that it's going to just do it for you when someone searches for what you do, then you save yourself a lot of work, actually, and a lot of time.
Yeah.
So,
There's like so much more to it than that. Like SEO is not just about driving traffic from search engines. One of the things I've been trying to teach people lately more and more is it also helps with conversion, and it actually helps with the people coming into your website understanding what it is that you do. And a lot of the time, like, sure, people can drive traffic to a website and they think, oh, I got 1,000 visitors. And then all those 1,000 visitors have no idea what you do and then just leave. It doesn't really serve a purpose. But if you say what you do and use the keywords and use that SEO kind of framework, you can actually not only get more traffic, but you get better conversion of that traffic. And that's a really important element that a lot of people forget. It's kind of interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get tons of visitors, but everybody just comes and they leave, right? Then, you know, that's not very useful. And actually, it's actually bad for your rankings, right? If people just go and leave, it's called bounce, right? You're bouncing the ball. People, and Google's like, well, must not be a very good website. Yeah, they got great keywords or whatever else, but people aren't really happy with it. So there's so many other things to do to a website in addition to said, but you need SEO first, get that framework, and then put different elements in that keep people on the page longer and then make them want to take action. Right? They want to make them call you, make them, you know, send you an email, fill your contact form, and so on. So many different things on top of that. But definitely your SEO is your foundation.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I see it.
yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
a bit biased on that one, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's true. You know, it is true, right? And you know, so that's just kind of how it goes. And a lot of people, they don't understand. I never used to understand, right?
Mhm.
How before I started this business, right? I didn't know how to get ranked in the first page of Google. I had no
Mhm.
idea. So a lot of people out there, they don't. But now that I know, right, and we're doing this for clients, that it's so exciting, right?
Mhm.
To educate people and to get them going and making more money, you know.
Mhm.
But I think we're going to leave everything else for our event on the
Oh yeah,
14th.
we're gonna do some pretty major stuff on the event, so I definitely recommend people check out that event. So
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Definitely recommend. Exactly. And then if you are interested in SEO now, even before the event, reach out to me. I'm happy to book a consultation with you. Alan's happy to talk with you, right? And let's get you get more visitors to your website, get them converting and making more money.
Mhm. Sounds good.
Well, look, you have a great rest of your day, Alan. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you
Thanks
later.
again. Okay, bye.